There is no rich African, none, who has not ever owned cows or goats.
If they were to be told that in your entire life, you'll make 700 million Kenya shillings, would you like to make it gradually, or we can give it to you now, ujipange?
Boy, I wish they would say gradually. Kujipanga is not possible. It's not in the human person at umpatia the 700 million ajipange leo. And what will he do between now and his 100th birthday? I'm also trained as an accountant, and I love the fact that I can say this. Whenever you see a monopoly fail, there will be opportunity for big money. Did you see one monopoly that failed that was called Kenya Telecoms?
Wadau, kama kawaida, good vibes tukikutana nazo ama tukisikia wind of good vibes, we have to bring it to the table and we have to bring it to you. And by the powers vested in me to scout for good vibes, our guest for this episode qualifies for every second of your time. Our guest for this episode, I believe he qualifies to be called a manufacturer, an employer in this country for over 30 years. Let's say 30 years, but I believe sasa with the time tunaweza this for relevance ya time tunasema for over 30 years. So 30 years and counting, creating employment, payment of taxes, and doing business. How has he managed? Our guest is the executive director of Palmhouse Dairies, and also tied to Palmhouse Foundation, which is doing major philanthropic work. And I think, okay, our guest anaitwa Mr. Eric Kimani. Karibu sana kwa show.
Asante sana.
Karibu.
Daktari.
Karibu sana. Unajua, people from my generation, we get into it before the set. Ukasema, our business style is different, like the digital economy compared to you, where you had to start a factory to employ people for you to make money. But I brought this up with one of our guests who I mentioned, anaitwa Mzee Geshoro, Joe Geshoro from Nakuru. He's 80 years old. Over 80 actually. Na tukamwambia, you guys were very lucky in your generation. Kutengeneza pesa ilikuwa rahisi.
You think so?
we assume so, and one of the areas tunaanzanga nayo ni ati you guys got land at very cheap prices, throwaway prices. Are we misled about the opportunities you people had? Wakati you just by having a Class 8 certificate you could qualify for employment?
Well, I think every generation looks at it their own way. Maybe when we were at that point,
yes,
we thought our parents got it easier. You think we got it easier, and your children will think you got it easier. It's not different. But I think the same challenges you face today, we had them. They may be described differently.
Yes.
But yes, it was possible. You left university and straight got into a job because there were not many jobs. There were not many. There was not much competition then. You went to campus and people were hunting you in campus in those days.
Yes.
Not anymore. But those challenges that you have today are still the same challenges. You want finance, you want to do business. It's all about innovation and charting your way, which way you want to go.
Okay.
And look at you, what you're doing.
Yes.
It is an opportunity of these times.
Yes.
Our dairying and doing dairy was an opportunity of that time. Right now, it's very hard to get into that industry. It's a very difficult entry to business in dairying.
Sasa unatoa morali yangu, unanitoa pums, na I was thinking of sasa nataka kutafuta crossbreed of cows that can give me 100 liters a day. Nianze pole na mtaa ni grow. You're saying hii mambo ya going back
farming? I like the idea that you keep cows, because I'll tell you this. There is no rich African, none, who has not ever owned cows or goats. So it is a good starting point, and it's a must. You must own a cow or two, or a goat or two.
Yes.
Even go on and have a bigger herd. That's a prerequisite of understanding how to do how to see how things work.
Okay.
So me, I never discourage anybody from farming.
Okay.
I was a farmer one time. I can guarantee you it doesn't make a lot of money.
It doesn't make a lot of money.
But it makes a lot of sense. It builds you for the future and for the other things you do in life. So I recommend farming to anybody who wants to learn the ways of the world.
It doesn't make a lot of money. It makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense. Because
Please break
it
that
teaches
down.
you the principles of life. You go and keep a herd of cows, half of them die. You begin to learn something. You keep a herd of cows, they are all sick with mastitis. You keep chicken, they are eaten by animals. You do this, but that teaches you. That hardship teaches you how to do your next thing. And show me one rich person who has never had anything to do with farming.
So this idea that now people need to move back to the rural areas, to talk urban areas, we go do farming.
Yes.
We are only going there to look for sense, not to make money.
But what is better, sense or money? I think sense is better than money. Sense will make you more money. That's why you make more money, because you have gone through those difficulties, you have understood, and yes.
So can you avoid the suffering of farming to go to sense directly?
No.
Because if you
go to sense direct, you won't make it, because you won't understand the basic principles. The principle of planting a seed and seeing it grow, germinate, grow, weed it, harvest, or sometimes lose the entire harvest, that is the sense. And in business, that's exactly what happens in business.
Let me put something to you and tell me whether it makes sense from your experience. I was speaking to someone and I was counting. I told them that when I go back to 22, knowing what I know now, I would have millions and millions of money from decisions that I could have done better. That's one probable outcome. Mm-hmm. But then there's another one that I told my friend who I speak to a lot, Harrison Mareka. He's 10 years my senior, exactly 10 years. So he tells me that it was important that I lost that money because that is how I know what I know today.
Yes.
So is it to say that human beings don't learn from the experience of others? You have to learn from your own experience.
Your own experience is worth everything. Your own experience is worth 100 other people's experience. Sitting here and listening to Eric Kimani is worth so little than you doing it and seeing the sense of it and suffering this, the outcomes and knowing how to do it. So your own experience is worth everything. And
okay.
That's why, and to come back to your example, I always say I would hate it to have had money at the age of 20. It would have killed me. It would have killed me. Yeah? And I know young people want to have money today, but money today to do what? And what will you do with the rest of your life if you make all the money today? Now tell me.
I agree with you because, again, a friend of mine, a lawyer anaitwa Otieno Moka. Today, these are conversations of very many coincidences. I told him that I'm scared of who I would have become if I had access to certain opportunities at 20, like you said. And we were commenting on a young lady who has been exposed to light and she has felt the urge of fame and now she wants to repeat the high as an assessment. It's not necessarily the possibility, but we know that phenomenon. And we've seen people who get money at a young age, and we've done a video saying that getting money at a young age sometimes is some sort of a curse.
It is a huge curse. I've met young people who, after a couple of years, tell me, I wish I knew that, it's no good having money at this age. It can ruin you. And I always say, if you have enough money at 20 to buy yourself a Range Rover, or at 25, a new Range Rover, why live then for the rest of the life?
Is it an age thing or is it a maturity thing?
life is an experience. Life is not to be lived one day or one season.
Yes.
And then you are very wealthy, you have made all the money and everything you have. That's not life. Life is to be lived, it's a
Gradually.
process, gradually. Well, it may not be the same speed for everybody.
Yes.
But there is no point having everything at every point. What would be the sense of living?
Someone would say it's very easy for someone who has tasted money to tell people who don't have money that, that because if you get a 20-year-old now and give them the option, like for example, if they were to be told that in your entire life, you'll make 700 million Kenya shillings, would you like to make it gradually or we can give it to you now, ujipange?
Boy, I wish they would say gradually. Kujipanga is not possible. It's not in the human person ati umpatie the 700 million ajipange leo. And what will he do between now and his 100th birthday? Just eating?
Yes.
Or just eating the 700 million? Can you wake up and eat it every day?
No.
Can you? I mean, if you didn't have to come and do what you're doing with me today,
yes,
because you have so much money, see, you are better gone. Mungu akuite tu.
So most people do not recognize the importance of the journey. We focus on the destination.
The journey is very important. And if I have one word to tell in a young person, is that the journey is more important than the destination. So journey on. And I am not where I am, where I was 20 years ago. And even 10 years ago, even less than that, I'm not where I was that time. I see things different. I perceive them different. I am on a different journey. Like you asked me when I was 20 or 25 or 40, it's not the same. So my advice with hindsight and a bit of experience, it's better the journey than the destination.
It's better the journey than the destination.
Yes, yes.
So let's talk about your journey for a bit. When I was reading through your profile, nikaona KTDA mahali. And I remember I really caught, let me say, I had mixed reactions when I saw he was chairman of KTDA in 1970. It's a video from 1971. And this is Mzee Jomo Kenyatta's brother. And I believe he's the chairman then. So he's being interviewed by foreign press, and he was asked a question in the interest of Kenyan coffee farmers. And he gets asked, I think it's Ngengi Muigai, he gets asked a question, like Kenyan farmers are selling to the auction. Why hasn't the government, through him, negotiated for farmers to sell directly to the European market like the Europeans are selling, because it would guarantee them more returns? And his answer was, we are not interested in the European market.
Wow.
And I can only imagine the ripple effect of that statement, or having someone who subscribed to such a philosophy, and how much it must have affected Kenyan farmers. That's one side of this nini. How much we've lost in terms of poor policy decision and the coffee economy and the cash crop economy. But on the other hand, and I believe you must have heard about this, in 1971, when frost destroys coffee in Brazil, and Idi Amin has been banned, he's facing sanctions, so coffee from Uganda cannot enter the market. There's a bunch of Kenyans who made serious money.
Chepkube.
Chepkube coffee. So when I juxtapose the hardworking farmer who has not had access to the market versus the clever Kenyan who benefits from coffee in Chepkube, becomes a multimillionaire. What does this tell us about business? Is it a lie to the masses to continue farming, whereas the big break comes from access to the European market, or a windfall like Chepkube?
You know, it's interesting that you bring up KTDA. Since I left KTDA like 20-something years ago, I've never talked about it. Neither am I. I don't particularly get involved or interested in the politics of tea. having been the CEO, I'm better off quiet than speaking.
Okay.
About
I mixed up
that.
KPCU and KTDA.
Oh, that was KPCU.
Yes,
but,
yes.
But even to what you've said,
Yes.
the headline news you have quoted, it's like you've been reading the news of Kenya last year about KTDA itself and the idea of selling
to the European market directly.
That's the clamor. That's what everybody wants. So nothing much has changed from what you've said. And even when I was there, my single biggest drive was, why can't we add value to our tea and our coffee and sell it with a little more value than the raw product? But that's a conversation that is still persisting in this country.
Okay. So let's talk about, I will run away from the politics of KTDA.
Yes.
As someone who's been in a position of seeing how the lives of the farmer can be bettered, where do we go wrong? You are a dairy farmer, but you have been in the area where this could really, some things that could really unlock the Kenyan economy. What does it mean to add value? Where have we missed?
I think value addition for the Kenyan market has worked very well. Remember, if you went back 30 years ago when we started dairy processing, maybe Kenyans were drinking 90%, 80% unprocessed milk. Yeah?
80% unprocessed milk.
It's possible. It was that high. Today, we want to drive them to take as much processed milk, that's value-added milk, because of many reasons, health, employment, and all that. So we've seen the change and the benefit of value-adding. For me, my business is just value addition. I buy milk from farmers, small-scale farmers. I package it, I process it, and it is that value addition that makes me money. It is not, the milk is not mine. The milk is from the farmer. My job is just to add value to the milk and sell it to the market. So I recognize it completely. I know about tea, for example, what you said. The tea that is sold in most of Europe and America and even the Middle East is other teas mixed with Kenyan tea. So nobody knows the Kenyan tea aspect of value. If Kenya could add value, could buy the tea from India and buy the tea from wherever and mix it and sell it, they would make more money than selling it the way they're selling it. So value addition is the key to most agricultural products. Not most, almost all of them. You must add value if you want to make some money. If you sell it,
farming has no money. The product that comes from farming has no money.
You see, you have no negotiating power as a farmer because you are supplying somebody. If you look at farmers worldwide, in India, in Africa, in Europe, anywhere, they have no leverage. So the people who process the products that they sell make more money, much more money. Today, packaging constitutes, the cost of packaging is more than the cost of product inside a packet. What does that tell you? The packaging is, because you're adding value, you're advertising it, you are putting it in hygienic packaging, and people are prepared to pay money, are prepared to pay $5 for a cup of coffee. For what you buy from a farmer, $1,
So if we drank unprocessed milk from such high percentages, is there any advantage to the consumer when value is added for a product like milk, which you have been?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a health issue, it's a nutrition issue, it's a distribution issue, because not everywhere there is milk. So the farmers of Githunguri cannot drink all the milk they sell. If they decide to transport it to Mombasa in its raw form, it will not work. So adding value and packaging it and processing it helps them to sell it to Middle East or to Mombasa.
So we have a segment of people who complain about processed foods, that the processing now introduces other elements that are a threat to health in itself. Like, let's say, for example, milk that will go bad in 2 days now can stay for 90 days without going bad. These elements introduced to the body, isn't that a health risk more than a health benefit?
Yes, there is health risks, and that's a conversation I am sure goes on in almost all the food industries, because there is a cost and benefit to everything. If you need to keep sausages for 6 months so that they can be eaten or they can reach somewhere,
yes,
and you are using a chemical to preserve them, yes, there will be perhaps the cost of that chemical could cause a problem. But it is measuring the cost of that problem and the bigger good you are doing. So yes, I know that milk, in the milk industry, it may be that if you are dealing with a lot of milk and you are transporting it from Kitale to Nairobi, and it needs to move, you may do something or treat it in a way that makes it, but it has to be a healthy way and an approved way to do it. So it's the cost benefit. Humans need to be fed. You are 6 billion people in this world. Farmers have much fewer to feed you. So we must trade some benefit of keeping.
Okay. And is it possible to measure the spectrum of this cost benefit? Say, for example, for a product like milk, if I take raw milk, there is also the risk of it being infected with diseases.
Yes. Or adulterated with wrong product.
Yes. And we've touched on the milk discussion on this show when we had our guest, Morara Kebaso, on the show. And he said that he noticed that for 5 liters of milk, for 5 liters of maziwa lala, he will get more profit than probably 20 liters of milk. I may not may not have gotten the numbers correctly.
Even if you don't have correct, but yes, you have added value by making it from cow milk to maziwa lala. A cow cannot produce maziwa lala, so you have added value.
Even if you milk it tomorrow.
No.
Okay.
So he has added value, and it makes you more money to do that. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a very interesting point to bring. Money is in the value addition.
Yes.
And this, by the way, can be replicated across all industries.
Across every agricultural product.
One of the hooks that really hooked me to this conversation, I was like, we have to sit down with Mr. Eric Kimani. My mechanic, anaitwa Kibaki. He has a brother anaitwa Dan Muo. He's probably running for office again. But at some point we get engaged in conversation. He worked for KCC, and then he went to another milk company. He was very passionate about milk. Then at some point he gave me ballpark figures. Like, if you want to start a milk company, and I was ready. You'll need to, like, nikiwa na 5 million Kenya shillings, tuko game. And sasa mimi hata naona ni kama kukamua tu ndani ya packet directly, tunachoma, tunauza. It looks like value addition ni kuboil alafu, you understand? And nikakwambia kitu kasema hiyo 5 million bado hakuna.
If it was possible, you would have very many processors. I have observed, I've been in dairy now for almost 40 years. And I can tell you the casualty rate or the death rate of businesses in milk is anywhere over 80%. It is a difficult business, except for the few like the Brooksides and the Godi Dairy. I can count them on my hands, those who are 20 or 10 years old. Why? Because they come with the 5 million, they set up a plant with the 5 million, and it can't survive a year or 2 or 3. It's an expensive investment. 5 million won't set you up a company in dairy, a processing plant. So maybe you can start by doing a garage small industry where you perhaps add value to the Mara only, but then you get into trouble with your customers. So it is a capital intensive industry. I don't think you would be able to do it inside 5 million, but we started with 1 cow as farmers. We started buying from our neighbors. We added to the more neighbors. We started recruiting farmers. So yes, you can start by looking at it that way. You can, by taking the steps that are required and then expanding as you go along.
So 5 million at going in, you will see fire.
Yes.
But if you start with one cow, which is less than 5 million, you have a chance.
You have a chance. One of the things I completely believe is that you need to understand the reason some of the companies like Brookside is so successful.
Yes.
They started as a Gesheha farm. For years, they were farming cows. They know what is milk, they know what is a cow. A lot of people come and set up a factory. They've never milked a cow. They've never kept a cow.
Yes.
Before very long, they shut the business. So it's important to understand that process, the chain of events in milk and how it works.
I'd like, thank you. I'd like us to get into how you get started in the dairy business, but I've had you on another platform saying that 99% of businesses fail, like sort of like startups. And now the statistics are more or less the same. When we go specific to dairy farming, you say 80% of them have failed over time.
Yeah.
So now that begs the question, and I think this is a general business question. Is business, and I think I've asked this before, but it will be interesting to hear your perspective. Is business generally gambling if the success rate is the same as betting?
I don't think business is gambling. I think business takes a lot of thinking and a lot of looking at many things, because you're looking at people, you're looking at equipment, you're looking at markets, you're looking at everything. And where I have seen most people fail is when you mix business with other things. Kenyans, we are very fond of, when you make a little money, you buy a matatu or you buy another piece of land.
See, that's diversification.
You can't diversify
you don't want to put
from
all
money.
your eggs in one basket.
That's a problem. Many times the eggs are not yours. You go and borrow from the bank 5 million, you borrow here 10 million, then you assume the eggs are yours and you start buying a matatu and you start buying a piece of land. Before long, you can't pay the loan.
Yes.
You can't pay back and you are shutting down because that was not the intention of the business. And you need to know the difference between your money and the money that belongs to the business. That's why even KRA knows that the money that belongs to business is not yours. It's yours, the KRA, and so, the bank, and everybody. But many people don't know that. They see a profit of 1 million shillings, 500,000 tanua shaba na nyuki. It's not your money. You need to understand, and a lot of people have discovered don't understand money and how to deal with money. And I think that's where business people know the game better, because they can deal with the money.
A lot of people don't understand money and they don't know how to deal with money.
Yes.
That's a very loaded statement.
Yes. I have seen many people who they come into business, they have the money, they have everything it takes, but before long, the business closes because the banks want back their money, the customers are not paying you, you are using the money to pay your school fees and you are paid a salary. You can't use business money to go and pay school fees. No, you pay with your salary, but you go and say, oh, I'll take this because it's come. It doesn't work. The discipline of running business, and I've run big companies, I've seen it, and I've run my small company, I've seen it. It is what distinguishes success and failure.
If I'm getting you correctly, if you have let me use the word turnover of 20 million and you're a sole proprietor, okay? And you're a sole proprietor, you have a turnover of 20 million, you have the money in cash, right? You cannot celebrate with that money. The money you allocated for yourself is what you should spend.
Absolutely. You should never touch anything. If your business is selling a shop where you buy unga from Unga Limited and sell to retail to customers,
Yes.
and your salary is 50,000, you can only deal with the 50,000. The money for buying and selling unga and the profit that comes can only come after you declare a dividend, after you have paid everybody whom you owe money. You paid Unga Limited, you paid KRA, you've paid the council licenses, you've paid everything else. But many people assume, I've made this money, and you start spending, and before long you can't survive. I mean, most of the dairies I've seen that have failed, and they failed in the dozens, is because they went and took milk from the farmers, and they started by paying farmers on time. But before long, they can't pay next month, they pay on 15. The following month, they can't pay by that year. They put it into 2 months, 3 months. And the farmers refuse to give them milk because they can't pay them. They have used the money elsewhere.
Or reallocated the resources.
Without knowing. Or knowingly. Maybe some of them maybe are crooked. They do it knowingly. But,
so if it is your company, if it's your company, and let's say, for example, you are lucky to have made a profit off your money. You've made 20 million. This is just a figure. What stops you from allocating your money as 19 million? You pay yourself 19 million, but you leave the business 1 million because you can replicate. Like, what determines how you pay? Like, see, you can pay yourself. You decide, you know you are worth.
I am tempted to tell you that the business is not yours. I started Palmhouse with my wife and we've run it, but this business is not ours. This business belongs to the farmer, belongs to the Kenya government, belongs to the suppliers who supply me with all the things that I use in the dairy. And I think that's where we begin. We need to go as a people to understand that the business is not yours, it's ours. KRA has a share in it. You use the public roads that you pay tax to build. You know, this business belongs to everybody. Yes. And the public that gives you the license to operate, they also own that business.
Yes. By the way, it has never been put better. For the people who feel like KRA is taking from your hard-earned money, it is because the facilitating factors of your success are not personal.
They are not personal, they are public. It is tax that has built the roads that deliver my milk to Nairobi. Why would I have a problem paying tax?
Understood. It has never been put better. It has never been put better. So before you get into dairy, have you tried other businesses?
Yes,
uliona moto kwa diversification ukakimbia kwa maziwa tena?
Hapana. Wakati when I started business,
yes.
I always like to tell the story of chicken because my boss and I had an Indian boss who was a very good friend of mine.
Yes.
And we decided we are going to get rich rearing chicken. I was a young man in my early 20s. And we built sheds and we had almost 1,000 chicks.
Yes.
And then one night, I don't know whether you know this, what do you call this animal? In Kikuyu you call it keiho or something, that kills chicken.
Some sort of a jackal?
Yes, it came and struggled like 500 of them.
One
night. And it doesn't eat, it just kills them.
It wants to store.
No, it's just killing them. And you wake up in the morning and you find your shed is full of dead chicken. And our riches are dead there.
You had invested, you knew.
We had built sheds, we knew we would get rich on the chicken. And then I learned my lesson. And one of the lessons I learned at that point is insurance. I never knew what is insurance. If we had insured, we would not have totally lost everything. So these are the lessons I'm telling you. They are expensive lessons.
Yes.
One time I planted vegetables, 2 acres of vegetables, and watered them and brought water from a stream to water the vegetables. And I knew, I was counting, each vegetable is 5 bob.
2 acres.
2 acres.
Yes.
Wacha wakati the market, the time for selling came. And then Kinagop was now harvesting. each was selling for at best a shilling or 50 cents. And you have spent all this money.
You did not.
What is the lesson?
You did not target seasons properly.
That's it. It's season. Timing. In farming, timing is everything. Yeah? If you do it the wrong time,
Yes.
you can't make the money. But it teaches you. And remember that when we started this, I said farming is a very important.
Yes.
I did it with fish. I was farming fish. Somebody came and fed them with aflatoxin, and in the morning they were all floating dead. So,
Thank you for making me feel better, because I failed with watermelon, and our audience cannot hear the end of that. I failed once.
That was the most important.
In 2021.
Is that so?
That's what I think today.
That's a very good lesson. Don't count it as failure, my friend. That is a lesson in life.
I was a
Today,
phone farmer.
I am where I am because I understand those things. I am better at what I do because of those failures.
Compared to me, who tried watermelon once, nikatoka mbio.
It is okay kutoka, but you had the lesson did not toka your head.
But you see, you went back. Where you see fire with chicken, you go to vegetables.
Yes.
And you still try other things.
Yes, maybe I'm more foolish. I tried many times.
Where are you getting the money to experiment with?
Well, it was not much. I mean, it was my salary then. I was employed, so I was.
So you want a side hustle?
I was trying to do a side hustle, it's a weekend hobby, and you have.
Yes.
But I have no regret at all. That is what gave me the basics.
Because things turned out fine.
Not because things turned out fine, because those lessons lived with me, and they have helped me in business as I have gone along.
Is there a place where the application of the lessons from chicken directly apply to another business that you handle differently? Like unaenda feel like, now with the lesson I learned from chicken, I'll make a different move here.
Oh, it taught me one thing. I will never do business without insurance. Never. And I've found my water pump is stolen, but the insurance is there to pay me. If I stayed the chicken way, I would perhaps have closed the dairy by now.
Yes.
But when such things happen, I learned the need for insurance that way. When is the issue of the chicken and the mongrel, also the fish, sometimes even with the best intention, things like those will happen. So I have seen years that we didn't make money, but I didn't close the business because we didn't make money, because I had learned that it is possible, but you can do it another time. So it teaches you those lessons.
Okay.
You don't get out. So go back to watermelon or try something else.
I will. I'm very interested. I've watched one of my mates in the podcasting area. Lynn Ngugi is doing content on farming and moving back to rural areas and setting up farms. It's an interesting concept. I'm interested.
Farming is a joy. It's a joy. There is no money in it, but it's a great joy and a great teachings.
So when you venture into business now, like into dairy farming, you say you start with one cow. Do you have the vision of where you are today, or it is trial and error till you get it right?
I don't know. I think it's more trial and error. I can't say that I knew I would end up where I am. But the first thing you must have is that dream of a better tomorrow. I wanted to be a very good zero grazing farmer.
Zero grazing farmer.
Yeah. So remember, I come from Gedonguri where there is no land to graze. So I was buying my cow. I was selling milk to the cooperative. The first cow I bought, I always tell this story, is I tried to give it, to inseminate it. It won't work. I tried a bull, it won't work. So I sold the cow. And I realized I failed in this dairy business because this cow wouldn't work with a bull, wouldn't work with artificial insemination.
Yes.
But a couple of years later, I bought 2 cows from Kericho.
You're still not giving up?
I'm not giving up.
You're not the problem, it was the cow.
It was the cow which was the problem, not me.
Yes.
So I bought 2 cows, And it is from those cows that I built a herd of almost 15 cows. And I was one of the best zero grazing farmers in the early 90s. We were one of the best zero grazing farms. Producing a lot of milk. I had a cow that could do 40 liters of milk in a day.
One cow?
Yes.
So now you try to inseminate a cow, it doesn't work. Is your motivation what people are making from the cooperative?
Yes. I thought milk was being paid well. By that time, I had not thought about setting up a dairy, a processing plant. That was in 88 maybe.
Yes.
1988.
Yes.
And I started selling milk to the cooperative. But then in 1993, there was a huge problem in this country. There was only one processor called KCC, and there was not enough milk. Everybody was scrabbling for milk. You could sell milk to any hotel if you had processed milk.
And you knew that?
And I knew that. I could see that. And I knew here there is going to be an opportunity. So,
at what stage in life are you that you are able to detect an opportunity like this? From I can sell milk to the cooperative to there's a shortage of milk. Here there is a gap that needs to be exploited.
The first thing we did, we used to work in Nairobi but stay in the village. So we used to carry the milk in the boot of the car. The car was full of raw milk, not processed milk.
Yes.
Raw milk.
Yes.
And those days, even the 5-star hotels here and the 5-star hospitals were clamoring for milk. I don't know what had happened. KCC was in little trouble. But there it was an opportunity, and I could see, and we started looking for money to set up a processing plant. My mind now in the early 1990s, 91, 92, I begin to think about, remember I'm employed, I'm a full-time employee this time.
Yes,
I can't devote everything to this.
Yes.
So it took quite a while. But 1993, we are looking for money. We needed to borrow like 7 million shillings.
In 1993?
Yes.
That's why you laughed at me when I talked about 5 million in 2026.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, we borrowed 3.5 million shillings from KCB.
From a bank?
From a bank.
What was the process like? Because when I go back to the qualifications to get money, the rules were very strict.
It was crazy. I walked into all offices, all banks, and they would look at me and say, young man, do you really know what you're talking about? Nobody has ever done what you are trying to do.
Or you explained your idea.
Yeah. I mean, you can't compete with KCC. You can't compete with government. So nobody was prepared to listen. But by some luck, there was a bank called European Investment Bank was giving KCB money to lead to small-scale businesses to grow. Yes? So that's how we accessed that line of credit, the 3.5 million shillings. Yes?
So it is through knocking these doors that the timing aligns that the European Investment Bank has given KCB.
Yes.
Is it predatory? The terms of the loan. Are they exploitative?
Oh, my goodness. By then, this new rule had not come into place. We paid more than double that money. We paid back.
You paid the 7 million you are looking for.
Yes. We paid it double. But anyway, it helped us. And we had put in part of our salary savings and all that. So together with all that, we set up the first small processing plant.
This is with your wife?
With my wife, yes.
You wanted 7 million,
yes,
but you can only access 3.5.
3.5 million.
How do you make up for the gap?
We borrowed, my employer lent me 1.5 million, and we scrabbled for the rest. And we had contributed building the ShopRite building. We had put up a 4-walled building that we called a processing plant. I can still see it in my eyes. You know the way they built shops in the village?
Yes.
That was a processing floor. We started with 500 liters a day of milk, and that was a huge problem. But the market was there. I can tell you there are some places some of the 5-star hotels and hospitals in this town. We walked in that time because there was no milk, and we never left for 30 years.
So before you go knocking doors to get 7 million, you are conscious that the market is there and it is ready. Yes. You just need to set up.
You see, I'm also trained as an accountant, and I love the fact that I can say this. Whenever you see a monopoly fail, there will be opportunity for big money. Did you see one monopoly that failed that was called Kenya Telecoms?
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes, I was there.
Which is the richest company in East and Central Africa?
Safaricom.
Once KCC failed, many other people are going to make money, and the opportunity, and even now the opportunity is there, is that just that the investment is so prohibitive, because there is still so much unprocessed milk out there that if somebody can set up and get the milk, but it has many dynamics. So, but the basic principle is this: when a monopoly fails, there is business to be made by those who can be able to fill that. Mm-hmm. So,
and your background in accounting plays in, there is no excitement, and I think this really comes to your benefit. There is no vibe of excitement about money. At I have 3.5 million, I will be tempted to do something else. First of all, it's not enough. We have a deficit, and we also have to do good by the market.
Yes. It's that observation and being aware, and like I said also, the discipline of knowing the difference between you and your business, because you two are separate. And even today, if you ask me what the business did last month, I know what it did, and I can read the financial statements, but I cannot touch that money until I do the right things, because it's not my money, it's the business money. And as I told you, there are many stakeholders who own that money.
You know, this idea of separation of the business as an entity separate from you, is this something you learn separately? Because it means you have to separate yourself from the employee mindset.
Yes. You are not you are not owner to do what you want. You're just employed. I get a salary every month.
When the company starts, the company that employed you was gracious enough to loan you an extra 1.5.
Yes.
And you still look for more funds.
Yes.
You're still employed, but you're starting something else on the side.
Yes.
What is your relationship with your employer then, that they will support something you're doing on the side?
The one thing I can tell you, and again I have said this to young people, you have to be a super employee. I was always a super employee wherever I worked. My employer wouldn't even have the thought of not having me work for him, because I gave it my best, and I knew how to balance the two. And that's another lesson I try to teach people. Moonlighting is not for everybody. You have to be so good at what you do for your employer that they can afford to close their eyes to what, if you are doing anything else out there. Yeah?
Yes.
But many people are shoddy, you put the jacket there, you go to do your own business, and you think the employer no, it can't work. My employer valued me a lot. And I was a senior, I was a finance director, so and it's a public company, a big company, so they were prepared to lend me the money because I was delivering value.
And how do you now get to a place that you can leave employment and now go work for you, under you?
I wish I had time we talk about this. I
Please.
tried it 4 times.
Please break it down for us.
I said, but at one time I had given myself that when I turn 40, I'll be self-employed. Of course, I was young and stupid. But here I was telling myself, at 40, I want to leave employment. I think I wanted to be my own boss a long time ago.
Yes.
But that was not to be. I left my first employment at the age of 41. I wanted to go and become self-employed. But I didn't last even a year before I was headhunted for another job. where I promised myself that by the time I'm 45, I will never work for anyone else.
This is not the dairy business.
No.
The dairy business is not the first time you quit your job to start a business.
No.
Okay.
The dairy business I started long before I stopped working. And we worked with my wife, and my wife herself left her job much earlier to go and be the general manager. So we employed her as a general manager, and we paid her much better than the Kenya government. So she was prepared to leave.
Yes. So now, by the time you're 41, Palmhouse Dairies is still working.
Yes.
It's growing.
It is growing.
So we will go back to the Palmhouse.
We will go back there.
But now, you're still not ready to quit your job.
I had quit in 1997. I said, I'm about 40. I want to leave.
Yes.
But then I was headhunted by another organization.
Yes.
Where I became finance director for 2 years.
Yes.
And I said, this is it. But that was not to be it either. I worked again for another 3 years, and I think that was KTDA.
Yes.
KTDA also, I was, I thought I was joking, applying for the job. But I applied and got the job, and I didn't know anyone in KTDA myself or anybody. I went through Deloitte, the recruiting agent, and it's just somebody who had mentioned to me, and I applied and got the job, and therefore again I ate my words and went back to employment as CEO for KTDA.
So when you're going back to work, it's not because there's some gap you want to fill financially.
No, it was not about finance. No, it's not fun. I want to work and do something good. I think, So KTDA, I went back, and it's perhaps one of my most admired works of what I have ever done. I enjoyed KTDA a lot, the 3 years. And I said, now, this is the end, never again.
But then something very important to note here, it has nothing to do with, I need the money. It's just, because when you say, when you quit, you say you're going to be your own boss, then you go out 1 year and then you go back to employment.
Yes.
First, it's being headhunted.
Yes.
They are looking for you because of how good you are at your job.
Yes.
But then when you go again to the other opportunity that presents itself, still it's not to do with the money.
No.
Palmhouse is still growing.
No, it's not to do with the money. If I had wanted the money, I would have made more money in employment than I've made in Palmhouse. I would have been paid much more. I mean, I was earning a lot of money. But the problem with that line of thinking is that today they would have retired me, but today I'm still the boss of my company.
Yes.
You get the difference. So it is delayed gratification. I knew that Palmhouse one day will make much more money than KTDA or any employer. But it will take a long time. By that time, it was not making. But I knew one day and into the future and into many more longer years, it would be a better employer than the corporate.
Okay.
Because corporate, you would have to come to an end at one time.
Yes.
And really, but you are right what you are saying. It was not the money that was driving it at that time, but yet the money was important. I had children in school and university and all that, and it helped to be employed. But I never also felt that I was too exposed. I could still have gone to Palmhouse earlier or done something else if I didn't do Palmhouse. And that's a conversation for another day. I'm not too fixated with a lot of money.
You have a very interesting relationship with money.
Yes.
There is a very important player in the story of Palmhouse Dairies.
Yes.
Your wife.
Yes.
In our world today, and this is another area your generation was lucky. My other friends have described this as the post-marriage era.
Yes.
You are casually talking about doing business with your wife to date, and this is from the tunaongea huko late 80s, early 90s.
Tumefanya pamoja.
How does this happen kwanza? Take us through the journey ya Palmhouse. Now, from now, mmepata loan ya kujenga. Now you're celebrating 30 years.
Yes.
Today,
Yes.
as in now, as in you are celebrating 30 years of the business. And there's one thing I've noticed, you have hauna hiyo pressure ya ati umesema hatuko kwa kila supermarket but you're doing fine.
No, we are doing fine. Yeah.
We are okay. So, what role does your wife play in the success of Palmhouse Dairy?
I think if I was to share it, she has her 50%, I have my 50%. And maybe there are places she does 100, I do 0. And there are places I do 100, she does 0. The good thing is that we complement each other. It's not a walk in the park. We have our differences and we argue sometimes, but we all do our own part and we enjoy working together. I think it's a strange relationship. I don't see it in many places, but we are able to work together.
And the business still grows.
The business grows, the business works, we've been away for 1 month, the whole of April. We didn't even make a call to the office, the whole of April.
Yes.
So the business works. For sure it works. There are managers who can run it. So we've reached that stage. But there are days we spend a lot of time there.
Huh? You know, someone said on this show,
yes.
Tell me if I capture it correctly,
yes.
that if someone thinks that they can wait to work till retirement and then after retirement you get a lump sum and then you go start a business, that you go buy a matatu, you go start real estate, you will die. So now from your story, I'm picking that you could have had the best corporate life experience. It is about now that you could probably be retiring.
I would be retired for a couple of years now.
Yes, around this time. But then you started something 30 years ago that you are tasting passive income for the first time around your time for retirement. Did I capture that correctly?
You captured it perfectly well. And if you were to count the time value of money, I earn much more than any corporate would have paid me as a pension or anything. You understand? Yeah. So, and it keeps me busy. I'm young. I need work to do. If you retire me at this age, what do I do? So, yes, your own business has that capacity to give you that opportunity to do that.
So what do we say to the person watching who is so fixed on how much they will make upon retirement from the job they are doing because they are permanently employed?
I'll get into trouble because I'll sound rude.
You've said it.
Yes.
So, and you still say you
yes.
didn't see,
yes.
you didn't have a vision of this, like what it could be.
No. I can't say I didn't have the vision. I mean, remember I told you I tried 4 times to retire to go and do it as a full-time thing. The way I've done it now I've now been retired for 18 years.
Yeah.
I left employment at the age of 50. Finally, and I've never gone back. So 18 years they have employed me. Palmhouse has employed me. Yes? They don't pay me perhaps the millions I was earning as Nini, but they are likely to pay me for a very, very long time.
So again, you've reset the minds of very many people because people believe in saving for retirement. Like just put money aside. Just weka pesa kando so that when you grow old, this money will take care of you.
Oh.
That is a fallacy as per the submission that is coming from this conversation.
Yes, the danger with that is that the time value of money loses value very fast.
You've mentioned that twice. Please give us your perspective of the idea of time value of money.
If you give me my pension at my today's salary for the rest of my life, it is going to be less and less. Look at inflation 20 years ago. When I left employment, I was earning well over 20 years ago, 1 million shillings plus was a lot of money for a salary. And even now, Palmhouse can't pay me that. But how can I explain you? Palmhouse is doing its business today, at today's rate, and every day I get money
Paid
yes,
in today's rate.
in today's rate. But that money would have lost value to this day. So yes, pension works, but it has its very major limitation. There is nobody who has ever. I would want to make money. I love money, not in a bad way. I like making money. I like watching, and I like the game of building business. Taking something for 10 shillings and adding value and selling it for 20 excites me. Yeah? I know, I give away a lot of it. Like I said to you, money for me doesn't give me that much trouble. How to deal with it, because you can't eat money. Yes, let's agree that. Yeah, you can only use it for value, and it brings me a lot of value when I see what
you can do with
what
it.
I can do with it. So I'm fixated with business, and I love business to make money. If I had more time, I would do more business, but I spend too much time on voluntary work. Now I don't do a lot of business. But the point I'm driving home is, it is better to do business than to have pension. It can never.
But don't wait till you retire so that you can start.
But that, as I said, I'll get into trouble with employers, because you are telling people, but I tell people, if you are a good employee, you can do it. But if you are a shoddy employee, you will never be able to do it. And I've seen it even in my own company, in Palmhouse. I had an employee, a young man called David. He was a cleaner, promoted to a storekeeper, promoted to something else. And after 5 or 6 years, he left and he set up his own business. And he's now one of my biggest suppliers. I like a person like that. If people are like that, I want to employ such people. I don't care that they don't work for 30 years. Let them work for 5 or 6 years, but deliver value. So I was that kind of person. I did my work well. My employers appreciated what I did, but I also applied my mind and my learning and my lessons and my life and my study to business. I have studied, like I said, accountancy. I'm a qualified lawyer. I know law. So I know a few things that can help me. So I love doing business and applying my law into the business or my accounting into the business. And the discipline of bookkeeping is one thing, again, I would teach people. Keep books. Let you be able to say that you generated 10 million and you spent 5 on this, 2 on this, 3 on this, that on that, and this is what it looks like. Many of us don't keep records.
Discipline of bookkeeping.
Yes.
Discipline
Even
of
if you are not an accountant, just show incoming, outgoing, and measure those metrics. They will show you.
They go a long way.
They go a long way.
So you also come from abject poverty.
Yeah.
You do come from abject poverty.
Well, I wouldn't say abject poverty.
Okay. Poverty that is not poverty.
Yes. I wouldn't say that. I come from abject
You come from no money.
Yes, I come from no money. I mean, it's not like my parents had any money. My father was never really employed. He was a peasant farmer. My mother was a primary school teacher. That you wouldn't call poverty.
Yeah, that's not abject. That is poverty.
Yeah.
By Kenyan standards.
By Kenyan standards, yeah.
So do you have a recollection of when you have ever been worried about money?
Well, money, everybody wants more money than they get. Yes, I don't think I can remember a time I have worried about money. I've never borrowed a coin from anyone. So
you've never borrowed a coin from anyone?
No.
This is a very important point. What does it mean? I've never borrowed a coin from anyone.
Well,
I know this is.
I have the discipline of my first salary was 800 shillings. Yes, a month. My first salary in 1980, January 1980, I have the appointment letter. But even then, I never borrowed. I have never borrowed money from anyone. It was enough for me and to give my parents and to and to do the things young people do, it was enough for me. Yes. So I guess the point you are driving earlier is people also need to know how to relate with money and to deal with money. When I see somebody who perennially and persistently borrow money from others, there is a huge problem.
The problem comes from planning, or the problem comes from not understanding how to deal with money?
I think it has to be both, because if you're earning 800, live within your 800. Why are you wanting to borrow from Dr. Kengori?
So what's the difference between borrowing from another person and you borrowing from a bank for the business?
No, business is even the taxman allows you to offset that borrowing as an expense of the company.
But you could borrow from friends to start a business.
If you are borrowing from friends to start a business and you are paying them back, absolutely no problem. Mm-hmm. But if you are borrowing for consumption or to pay school fees for your children, there is something wrong. There is something wrong.
For someone in that situation,
yes.
How do you think they can correct that? For you, it comes like a natural software, because even from your first salary, you don't fall into the trap of something they call salary advance.
No, I took advances even when I was young. I took salary advance if I needed it. But the thing people must learn is to live within your means. If you live within your means, you will never borrow. You will never be in trouble with money. Why would you?
Or a salary advance is borrowing from yourself, not borrowing from?
That's okay. You can take an advance because it's your money. That's not even a borrowing at all. It is your money. My worry is when people go and borrow to take your child to Class A school, and what you are entitled to is Class C school. You will be a poor person.
Status games.
You'll be poor.
If you borrow for status games, you will be poor.
And do you know that very many young people, younger families, do that knowingly or unknowingly? So you are living beyond your means. You will never break the cycle.
So now you have a philosophy, very interesting, of the aura of abundance. That's why you give, right? Someone would argue the place for faith, like, I want to go rent a place where I pay 100,000 per month, even though I can't afford it, because the Lord will provide.
The Lord does not provide. Which Bible do they read?
What do you mean the Lord does not provide? Where's the place for faith?
There is no place for faith, for such faith. That is stupid faith. You can kneel down right here and tell me you pray God will provide. I am a believer myself. But I can tell you that doesn't work. And any faith that tells you can pray into money is misplaced faith. And I think that also is something that's going wrong, that people can spend hours before God praying for money. God will not give you. What for? Why? Work or go and do something worthwhile, or do something that is within your means. Don't ask God to give you money to buy a Range Rover. What for? If you can't.
So now we are going into, I am inclined to agree with you on that. You must get into action for you to get.
Yes.
You can't wish your way into success. That's true. No. But then, what's the place again for luck then? In the sense that we are in a country of, let's say, limited opportunities, and it's everywhere. Even in the US and stuff, there's limited opportunities. You don't believe there's limited opportunities?
No, there isn't.
Correct me.
Do you know that the world is millions of years old? Let's agree that if you go to Egypt, you see the pyramids. That's built by men and women of those days.
Yes.
If they were to wake up today and you listen to them, they had the same narrative as you, that life is very hard. Even now, in my time when we were young, we were saying our lives are so hard. Our parents didn't experience this. You now, our children, are saying the same thing. And yet, the world is marked by progress throughout. Show me a time when the world went backwards or down. So, I want to tell you one thing, which I would like people to hear, both people my generation and young people. I believe the limitation that is there is in us human beings. It's not the opportunities that are limited. Look at, I wish you were here in 1970s and and see this, or 80s, even the early 90s in this country. You wouldn't believe that what you see today was possible. So what am I saying to you? I'm saying, don't worry about our young people and the lack of jobs and all that. Yes, we need to look for solutions, but the human mind and the human capacity to look for solution has not changed from the BC to this day. We are going to see progress. Look at how we are sitting here. If somebody knew how we are making money by sitting here, my grandfather would turn in his grave if he knew what we are doing.
Yes.
So, my belief is that there is enough opportunities. We should not worry too much about our youth. We criticize our youth and we say, oh, they are doing things so differently. Oh, we used to do it this way. Every generation talks like that. The opportunities are there. You will unlock them. It's just a matter of time. The youth will find a way and things will be progress, another progress.
Okay.
Another era of progress. If you show me time humans have gone backwards, I will revise my theory and my argument.
I would like to make a special thank you to my friend Rosie for helping us set this conversation up. Okay. But as we wrap up, there's something you said which is so profound. I hope we can capture it for our audience again. Mm-hmm. How, and I believe this goes to, this cuts across all generations to guide on perspective. How your perspective of life has changed. To put it into context, let's say in every decade of life and in every stage, how your mind has shifted up until where you are now. This, I believe, when you explain it, I have seen myself where the application applied to me. And it's a very interesting lens to look at life from. You've dropped golden gems in this conversation from when we started, and I believe it's justice. And thank you for confirming to our audience that this is worth every second of their time. But to summarize, how has your perspective of life changed in every stage?
You know, I don't know where to start with that. I'll be speaking at Strathmore on Saturday on the question of impact and legacy and all that stuff. And one of the things I would like to advise young people from my own experience, now that I'm at the age of 68, I've lived my life and I've seen it. What I have seen, like everything else, if you plan your life, it is more likely than not it will turn out what you plan it.
If you plan.
If you plan. But if you live your life and say, kesho itajijaria, I'll wake up tomorrow and see what comes, life will not take you very far. It's like, if you look at the best companies in this country, even the owners of this hotel where we are right now, it takes a lot of planning to grow to this hotel, to grow, to figure out what they want to do. The story of Palmhouse took years of planning and a lot of planning and, to figure out where you want to be. And slowly it goes on. But if you don't know where you're going, how will you get there? So for me, I am a very structured person since my early 30s. Before that, I was not very structured, but I was still a good man, but
yes.
not very structured. If it was possible for you to sit and draw your life's plan of where you want to be at, I don't know how old you are.
Chasing 40 now.
In your 40s. So do your plan for 45, for 50, for 55, for 60, 65. If you are like me, when I did that plan, I thought 70 it's too old to plan. Now I see 70 here.
Yes.
And 2 weeks ago, I wrote a Facebook post and said, after going to Peru, hiking, my idea told me I need to sit down and plan for my 100th birthday. Mm-hmm. Now listen to me. I am going to sit down and plan how my life will be like from now to 100. When I sat first time in my early 30s and planned where I'll be until 60s, I thought 70s are too far to plan. See, I've survived. I haven't died. Even now, I might survive to 100. The likelihood, if I survive to 100, I will achieve 100% of what I plan now.
It's all in the mind.
What I planned at the age of 30, at the age of almost 70, I can look back and see that I've achieved that plan. And that plan has helped me to navigate.
Okay.
So my point to a lot of you young people is have aspiration. Aspire for something and put them down and say, I want to be married, to have children, to own a car, to own some money, to do this, to help people. I want to do this. And plan, put it on a plan. And say by the time I'm 35, I want to be worth 5 million shillings. By the time I'm 50, I want to be worth 50 million shillings. And then measure it every year, like the business does here, or like Safaricom does, or like anybody businesses do. I guarantee you the chances of you succeeding in achieving that which you want. Because if you want to be a bank robber, you will become the best robber. But if you want to be this, you become the best that, because you have a good plan. So let's not live life, and whether you die or live, what will you have lost if you have a good plan? If you live, you will look back and say, wow, that was a good plan.
Yes.
If you die, you won't be there to know that your plan didn't work.
But at least you took a chance on your future.
Yeah.
And is marriage important now that you dropped it up ndani kidogo?
Yeah, but my marriage, I've been married for 42 years. And I can't see that if I were not married for 42 years, I don't think I would be half as successful as I am.
Unajua sasa our generation people say that if you had not been married, you will be twice as rich, because when you divorce, and because that's a very common trend.
Another perspective of abundance.
Yes.
If today my wife divorced me or I divorced her,
yes,
I am happy she can take the 50%. She's contributed. What's a big deal? And I can't finish my 50%. She can't. Well, I don't need it. Without her, or with or without her, it's not that it makes any difference. It's not about dividing it 50-50. It's accepting that principle that you are both in it together. And whatever you build together, if really it's worthwhile, you shouldn't worry. Even if you split it 50-50, if it came to that, it is still okay. And you should work with that mentality of it's abundant, it's enough for all of you. And yeah, I write a lot about abundance. Maybe next time you invite me, I'll talk about abundance and scarcity, because that's the topic I love most to talk to people.
I honestly have a feeling that this is a first of many conversation. If your schedule allows again.
No problem.
We do appreciate you on behalf of our audience. Thank you for making time for us. Yeah. Congratulations on the 30 years of employment.
Thank you.
For people at Palmhouse Dairies. And thank you for the nuggets zenye umetupatia leo.
Yeah.
They go a long way into shaping the mindsets that we're trying to build to survive in our generation.
Asante sana. Asante. If I said anything anybody doesn't like, my sincere apology. It's a view, and sometimes we say things one doesn't agree with. It's my view, and forgive me if I said it wrongly. But yeah, I speak from, like I said, I'm a vulnerable person. I speak openly.
Yes.
If there's anybody who wants to ask me anything, I'm a very public person.
Yes.
I'm available on Facebook and my WhatsApp or whatever. You can reach me.
Sawa sawa, asante sana.
Asante.
I believe a great percentage of our community, we build a community for people who believe we subscribe to approaching things with an open mind. For those who do not understand, apology has reached them in advance, but I've enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you, Daktari.
Thank you too, sir.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for allowing us to come and celebrate with you 30 years of business.
Happy 30th anniversary.
Thank you.
Asante.
Bye-bye.